My God, we read some dumb books. We really do. This is what's up? I'm John Stark from BackToTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. I just shit all over your reading habits. Uh, this I'm here to review My Fault, London, which is on Amazon and has been consistently popular and in the top 10 for long enough that even though I didn't catch it when I don't even know when this originally dropped. It's listed as a 2025 title, but it's been there for a couple weeks. I'm gonna guess around February. This feels like the kind of movie that you drop when people are horny around Valentine's Day. And yeah, it's based on a book, and it's also based on a Spanish language movie called Culpe Mia. I haven't seen that, nor have I read the book series. This is like 50 Shades of Grey, where there are like multiple of these. There's this whole world with these characters yet to be mined by Amazon. Amazon will mine this. There will be a My Fault London 2, My Fault London 3. I can feel it. I think this movie was made on the cheap. I have no idea who anybody in this cast is except Jason Fleming. And the last thing I saw Jason Fleming in was this awful movie called Utopia, where he was like the only person in the cast that I knew. So apparently he'll sign on to literally anything at this point if he gets money, cool. Uh, that's not to say that there's bad acting in this. There's just this is a really odd thing for us to start getting into. 50 Shades of Grey was a thing, and it started out as a as a uh, like Twilight fan fiction. I don't know if this started out as something like that. Feels like it could have. It does have audio description, which is appropriately horny, as the movie is. So, but yeah, I called the audio description horny. Well, it is. I mean, there are scenes where it sort of feels like you're listening to like it makes the scene more. I don't know how to say that. Uh, like talk dirty to me, you know. Like she'll. There's a scene where Noah and Nick, who are I should tell you, the movie's about Noah, who's an American girl whose mother has just married this rich stepfather, and she's moving to London, where she's gonna have a stepbrother who she wants. They really want to fuck, like it's to have a profound amount of sexual chemistry, and they're gonna spend at least some time trying not to. But really, the movie is about them eventually coming together as step siblings. It's a forbidden relationship, if you will. And I know that somebody would be like spoilers, and that's the whole movie is about this. Like, and also for some reason, racing. It's also like a Fast and the Furious like knockoff. So between underground street racing and horny teens, that's what the movie is. So Noah is will eventually get around to Nick, and there are scenes where like she's pointing to where she wants him to kiss, and it's like it's on the inner thigh, and it's starting to get very uh you know very horny. I don't know how else to describe this. For everybody who was like, "Oh, Challengers is the horniest movie of the year," I was like, "Have you seen this movie? Did you see Bridgerton?" Like, I think there were movies where like the audio description just comes through and just is like, and he looks at her, and he, I wish I could do it justice. It's just the audio description on this is very well done for what this is. I didn't care for the product as much. It just feels like we're living these bizarrely extravagant lives for no reason whatsoever. I know it's like escapism, like it's already escapism because let's be honest, this movie is really for people who have a relative they really want to fuck, but they can't. So they're, so they're living vicariously through this relationship. So it doesn't really make much sense to have Noah and Nick living, you know, middle class lives or lower middle class or even upper middle, like just like sort of like regular looking lives where they don't have an extravagant lifestyle and a big mansion and people who work for them, and it's just not that kind of story. They don't have giant set pieces. It's just a brother and a stepbrother who live in like a 3-bedroom 2-bath house, and things are a lot harder for them to try to figure out how to. They're not telling that story because that's just too relatable. No, they want to tell the escapist story, where not only are these two people having this sordid problem, but they're also living it up at the same time, so that way you can have fantastical set pieces and street racing sequences and assistants and people coming in and trying to bribe for money. And she has an ex-boyfriend that shows up at some point and he's there for like 5 seconds before he accepts a bribe, you know, like that kind of thing. And I was like, well, this could be a love triangle. No, it's not going to be, because that would bore the movie down. So um but yeah, it's basically uh this torrid affair that isn't supposed to happen. That's the movie, man. That's all this is. uh and I love that we always walk a fine line in these movies too. It's always like a relationship that could, you know, that people can get behind. It's not that Noah's having feelings for her stepfather. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, that movie is not trending on Amazon. That movie's trending on Pornhub. So, or even Noah having a love triangle between both her stepfather and stepbrother, you know? It's always something where they think the audience can be pulled in because that's what it is. But like a far more interesting and bold step is exactly what I said. Make the movie where like Noah is interested in the stepfather and the stepbrother is interested in Noah's mother, you know? I don't know, make that movie. Make it at least something that feels like it's not just a young adult romance, like soft porn version of 50 Shades, where it's just, you know, a little bit lighter touch to it. I hear the English remake does not go as far as the Spanish language version does. I don't know how far the book goes, but probably the furthest of all. We have a tendency to be able to read things that we don't want to be on screen. Example of that would be the orgy that exists in the book It, that has never made it into any filmed adaptation of that. So yeah, we tend to be able to read things that we don't really want to see on screen. So who knows, maybe my fault too is the fact that the parents get in on this action and it starts becoming a love quadrilateral. I don't know. What's after triangle? Love square? It can't be that easy. Um, so yeah, I don't know. This is gonna be for if you already know if this is for you or not. You didn't need to come here and hear this from me. This is not my thing as a film. It does have good audio description, but yeah, I was this whole movie, and then they would go off and they do street racing, and I'd be like, what is this movie doing? Why can't this movie just have a focused Like, could you imagine if there was street racing in the middle of 50 Shades? Like, Anastasia is like, she's showing up and then, like, she goes off and she's also an excellent, like, underground street racer at the same time. I don't know, it's just it feels like an unnecessary plot thing that goes through and it ropes it in because she ends up street racing and then this guy is like gets butt hurt over the whole thing and so then like Nick has to fight him and he's like, well, I have to fight him now. I love that when guys are always like, well, I have to fight him. No, you don't. Why? For my honor. No. In the real world, people just don't do that. They just kind of know, I'm not gonna do that. Bye. Like, and I love that the other guy wants to fight too because he lost to Noah. And it's like, are you mad because you lost to a girl or to a better racer? Like, what are you mad about? Like, I don't know. It's maybe just watch Culpa Mia. If I don't know if it has audio description. I really don't care. I'm not gonna watch Culpa Mia. I'm not gonna watch My Fault London 2. So I dipped my toes into this franchise and I need not more of it. So I did. I maxed out. I'm gonna give My Fault London. I'm gonna give it a C minus. It's not terrible. The acting isn't terrible. It made me feel a little bit like the first 50 Shades of Grey, where I could see like some glimmers of some stuff happening, and then they made sequels to it. And I was like, well, we didn't need these. So the first initial story has a little bit more to it. I know they're going to drag it out. And it's just going to get, what's that after series where we have like, there are like 8 after movies? Anyway, um, yeah, not everything supports like a legacy of books. So I guess I'll go with a C minus for My Fault London. So that's it. Thank you for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.